Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Michele Rohde, and I'm so excited to be back to be helping you guys get from where you are to where you want to be. And so whether you're feeling stuck or you just want to improve your life, I think today's process will really help you. It's the WWWH process, not WWF, no wrestling around here today. But if you want to learn how to do that, stick around and I'll explain next. Inspire the best version of yourself with tips and skills you can implement right away. Look, it's a mind, body, and soul connection, and we all know that when we feel better, we do better. Your future starts now. Okay, awesome. Thank y'all for coming back to learn about the WWWH process today. And I'm so happy to be back on this show. I took a little break and now I'm just rejuvenated. I've got so many ideas, so many things I want to help y'all with, hopefully to inspire and motivate you. And I'm sure there will be plenty of awkwardness and goofiness along the way too. But main thing is I want to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. So being a financial advisor and being a coach, I've got a ton of tools to help you with your financial life. We'll dig deep into all those subjects, help you feel real confident about them, break them down, make them easy so that you can start to experience more wealth in your life. And additionally, having the coaching background, I want you to feel wealth in every area of your life. Because our life isn't one thing, right? It's got categories. We've got compartments and sections and different aspects of ourself and our life. And what I mean by that is some of us have a lot of different hats we wear, a lot of different roles we play. So some of us may be parents and maybe business owners, co-workers, maybe there's hobbies and activities or nonprofit groups we're involved in, activities with our children. So there's a variety of things we do to help other people and things that we're interested in ourselves. So you've got to look at every aspect of your life as parts and where are you and where do you want to be in those. So that is exactly what today's process is going to talk about and try to help you improve upon. So what am I talking about? Well, it's called the WWWH, and it's not WWWF like, you know, the Wrestling World Federation. No, this is more of a personal lifestyle technique that you can use. And I personally have been using it for nearly 20 years. And on top of that, it's not something you use once and then forget about. This is something that you can come back to. And I use this several times throughout the year. And so we all in life, you know, like I said, we're wearing a lot of roles. We're wearing a lot of hats, playing a lot of roles. And so what happens is when you wake up and you have all these activities before you, you kind of get on the hamster wheel, right? And it's just one activity to the next. And you don't have a lot of time to stop and think about where you are and where you want to be. So sometimes when you're on that hamster wheel, you're in the rat race, it can just start to feel hard. You can start to feel overwhelmed and maybe stuck sometimes. And if you're lucky enough not to be feeling that way and you just want to improve your life, improve your different areas, then how do you do that? How do you stop that rat race? How do you get off the hamster wheel for just a second to figure out what's going on and why does it feel so bad and how on earth can you improve it when you have no time? I know we can all relate to that. There's only so many hours in the day. How on earth can I change this situation? And this process really helps you with that. And so the first thing that you do in this process, and by the way, I just heard this explained again the other day by one of my mentors, Dean Graziosi. He's a real estate guru. He's gone on to own many different companies, and he went from a janitor with special needs to a mega millionaire. And he was just explaining this process, and I've actually been using this process as a financial advisor. It's one of the first things they teach us to do with a client. So if you've ever been a client of mine, the questionnaire we email you, the data that we're looking for answers many of these questions. So let me get to it. Don't want to keep you waiting any longer. How does this work? Okay, so the first W right here stands for where am I now? All right, so like I said earlier, your life isn't one thing. Although it may feel like it either feels good or bad or meh, sometimes, you want to look at each compartment of your life and be honest with yourself, because you can't get anywhere if you're not being honest about the truth of the situation, and you can't do that if you're on the hamster wheel. So you can either pause this video right now and get out your phone and write some notes, or write it down on a piece of paper, the answer to these questions, or make a date with yourself right now. Put it on the calendar, prioritize yourself the same way you would a doctor's appointment. Just mentally think about when you're gonna answer these questions this coming weekend. It takes 5 minutes, so you have time, okay? So the first question, where am I now? Think about where you are now in your sleep habits, your career, your relationships. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate all of these. So your relationships with your friends, how do those feel on a scale of 1 to 10? With your family, with, like I said, your career, your education, your passion, your purpose. Do you feel like you have one on a scale of 1 to 10? Does it motivate you? So look at all those areas. That's where we start. And financially speaking, you look at where you are with money in the bank, your bills. So you can break down so many levels deep in these different categories of your life and just assess where you are real quick, how you feel about them. The best way to do this without having to do it from memory is to download a balance wheel. It'll have all the different areas of your life on there, and you can rate them real quick. And later I'll try to provide a link in the comment section of this video so that y'all can go find a balance wheel and do this super quick. I think it's a fun activity. So, okay, you start there. And then the next W, the second one. This is the fun one. This is the one that gets me excited, that I can't wait to answer. And it is, where do you want to be? So now you know where you are. Now you figure out where you want to be. The best way I can explain this is like going to a doctor. He can't tell you what medicine you need if he doesn't know where you are right now. So he may have to order lab work. He may have to look at your medical history. He's going to ask you a ton of questions. The same thing as a financial advisor. I'm going to ask you, what are your monthly expenses? How much do you have in your retirement accounts, if anything? How much debt do you have? Because I need to know all that groundwork before we can talk about what your goals are. Because I need to know how much work we need to do or not do in order to get you there. So that's why it's so important to go in this order before you set your goals. And that's also why so many people fail on their goals, because they're just thinking about the goal. And I know that's the fun part, but if you didn't do the legwork before and after that, that's why most people fail on their New Year's resolutions by February 15th. 90% of people give up on their goals by that date if they set them in January. So you don't want to do that. So once you figure out where you want to be in every area of your life, you want to write that down somewhere where you can see it most days. So again, it's not one big goal. You have different goals, or you hopefully should, for every aspect of your life. What are your career goals? What are your relationship goals? What is your physical fitness and nutrition goals? What drives you? What do you want to accomplish? Experiences you want to have in your life. Just dump it out all on paper and get it down there, and visualize each area of those sections of your life. And so, also want to speak to this too real quick, is a lot of people, and this relates to the third W, a lot of people know what they don't want. So we may be complaining about, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough resources or know the right people. We know exactly what we don't like about our life. The harder thing is, for some people, is what do you want? Because once you can get that clear vision, then you can start to take the actions to get you there. But if you've never visualized what the perfect day would look like for you, and in every area. Like I said, what does the perfect career look like? The perfect work day? What does your perfect relationships with your friends and family look like? What does your perfect body look like? How do you want to feel when you walk into a room? Who do you want to inspire? What impact do you want to make? Those are such important things to consider. And that leads me to the third W, which is why. Why do you want these things? Let's say you say, I want more money, I want more freedom, I want to travel. Yeah, me too. All great things, no doubt. Those are good goals. But in order to succeed at this, in order to not fail at your goals, which so many people do, and that they fail so much that they give up on New Year's resolutions, it's because you got to go a layer deeper. You have to know why you want those things. Because all those things I just mentioned, more money, more time, more freedom, more travel, blah, 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 that's all head stuff. You have to get down to your heart. And when you can connect the two, that's when you really get the motivation. That's the juice, that's the good stuff that'll pull you out of bed in the morning and keep you going when it gets hard. Because life will get hard. You may get the customer that talks bad to you. So what's going to keep you from stopping what you're doing? Stop striving for your goals. It's the heart. When you get the heart in it and you can look at your passionate, inspirational goals every morning, like on a vision board or in your journal, you can remind yourself, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm going to keep going tomorrow and not give up on it. Okay, so the last thing, the H, stands for how. Okay, yeah, so all this is real good and great. Where am I? Where do I want to be? And why? Okay, but now what, Michele? Like, how in the world am I going to accomplish these gigantic big goals that you're having me come up with? You know, I didn't win the lottery. I didn't have a genie pop out of a bottle. So, like, how do we do this, okay? Well, one thing I know for sure is that when you have a clear vision, we have amazing processes within our brain that when you focus on something, your brain goes to work on it subconsciously. Perfect example is when you're talking to negative ninnies. What do they have happen all the time? More negative stuff. They're constantly complaining, they're whining, because that's what they're focused on. That's what they're thinking about, so they're gonna see more of that. And I'll talk about why scientifically that happens in another video in the future, because it's really neat, and we can geek out on that together later. But, and I think it'll inspire you mostly is why I wanna tell you about that. It'll inspire you to have that vision board, because you'll know why it's working and why it's not just hoopla, okay? So, but if you can figure out your vision, then look at that every day and then just take one action step for any of the categories you want to focus on first. Maybe it's your health. So what's the next action step you can take? If you don't know, just keep focusing on your goal every day. Start talking to people who have had the success that you want and figure out what your next action step is. The how is solved by either you gaining more knowledge and or more confidence. And you do that, you gain more confidence by taking action steps. The more action you take, the more confidence you get. You can also get that same confidence by asking questions. Gaining more knowledge, you'll feel less insecure once you have the confidence of information to back you up. So that's the how. And I really hope this little process helped you. And more importantly, I hope you actually do it. Because here's the difference between people who are successful and getting to the next level of life and people who are staying stuck and don't know why. It's because you're watching videos like this all day or you're reading book after book, but if you're not actually pausing to do the work and to do these little things, I mean, these thoughts take like 5 minutes a day at most, maybe 30 seconds. If you can just start to work through this, actually do it, that's when you'll see the needle start to move instead of just thinking about it. You actually have to get what's in your head down onto paper, and that's where the magic happens. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed today's talk, and then next Friday, I can't wait to see y'all. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about investment strategies and how to get from where you are to where you want to be with your wealth and your financial security, peace of mind faster. So stay tuned for that next Friday, and I can't wait to see y'all then, and hope y'all have an awesome weekend. Bye, guys.